Do you know how great the power of love is? In order to get into the college of the girl he loves, he locks himself in his room and tries his best to study. When he's eating, exercising, jogging, he learns all the time. When he gets tired, he will look at her picture. After all these efforts, will the girl like him? Wu Yiyan is a student who doesn't like to study. He fights all the time. That day he had to go to the principal office to be punished. At that time, there was a lovely little girl who just entered the school. Wu Yiyan took the initiative to get acquainted. He did not expect that she told him, "Your pants are torn." Wu Yiyan covered the tear in his pant with his hand and hurriedly walked away. Seung-hee is a girl who is both beautiful and studying well. She becomes the dream of all the boys in school. The bullies also confess to her. Wu Yiyan determined to chase her. Seung-hee is an obedient student, but at this moment, she asks him to skip school. They went to the restaurant near the school to eat tteokbokki. After going out together, they gradually became good friends. The bully guy gives Seung-hee gifts every day. She doesn't like him, so she wants to skip school and eat tteokbokki. While climbing a wall, she fell. Wu Yiyan promptly caught her. Seung-hee asked Wu Yiyan why he likes fighting. Wu Yiyan promised her he wouldn't fight again. While the two were talking, they met the bully. In order to not disturb him, Seung-hee lied that she and Wu Yiyan were dating. He was very angry. He often bullied them at school. Wu Yiyan is always protecting Seung-hee. That day they skipped school again. The owner was busy, so he did not open the store. Two people were seen by the teacher. Wu Yiyan took Seung-hee's hand and ran away. Seung-hee often teases Wu Yiyan. The two were increasingly close. At school, out of anger, the bully hit Wu Yiyan. Wu Yiyan did not fight back. Seung-hee knew he kept his promise to her. When Seung-hee was unhappy, Wu Yiyan ran to the school radio station to sing her favorite song. Seung-hee laughed. Wu Yiyan led her to the sea to watch the sunset and gave her a music player. Seung-hee was very touched. They kissed. After that day, Seung-hee stopped going to school. Wu Yiyan received a call from her. She said she and her mother have always tried to run away from their alcoholic father. Her father often beat people after drinking. Recently he went to the place of them, so she had to change schools. After graduating from high school, because he didn't pass university, Wu Yiyan worked part-time at a fried chicken shop. That day his friend held up a university enrollment paper. Wu Yiyan saw Seung-hee on the paper. He wants to take the college entrance exam right away. He knew Seung-hee went to university in Seoul. He immediately locked himself in his room and tried his best to study. He studied all the time. The power of love is so great and magical. Finally, Wu Yiyan passed the entrance exam to the University of Sports. He was glad to see Seung-hee. He thought the two would be able to have fun together, but unexpectedly Seung-hee told him, "Why are you here?" During the party meeting the new student, Seung-hee looked for Wu Yiyan and said she had a boyfriend. Wu Yiyan was very disappointed. Seung-hee's boyfriend is the captain of the school baseball team. Every day she comes to cheer her boyfriend. On Seung-hee's birthday, Wu Yiyan brought flowers to her. Unexpectedly he saw his boyfriend giving her a necklace. Wu Yiyan angrily smashed the window of his car. One day, when he went to the library to read a book, Wu Yiyan discovered that Seung-hee's boyfriend was a bitch. He was secretly dating another girl on a trip. Wu Yiyan immediately told Seung-hee the truth. She did not believe him, even scolded him for causing trouble. Wu Yiyan was very angry. During the ball match, he rushed to hit him. A few years later, Wu Yiyan and Seung-hee treated each other as strangers. When they met, they pretended not to know. One evening, Seung-hee called him out to drink. She told him that she broke up with her boyfriend. She didn't expect him to be a fool. Wu Yiyan felt that he had a chance, so he happily drank with her. The next morning, Seung-hee returned home. She left him a note telling the two to stay in touch. However, Wu Yiyan could not see that piece of paper. He once again missed the chance. After leaving the army, Wu Yiyan became a fitness trainer. He has a very pretty girlfriend. That day while distributing flyers on the street, he met Seung-hee again. He could not help but run to greet her. The two people started to recall the old story. Wu Yiyan knew that Seung-hee was still single. Now she lacks a private chauffeur, so he took the initiative to be her driver. Every day he and her go to many places to film commercials. That day when the two were on their way to work, Seung-hee received a phone call to notify that the filming was cancelled. She was so angry that she cried. Wu Yiyan wanted to cheer her up, so he took her to the sights. One day, he ran to her workplace and told her he had broken up with his girlfriend. Seung-hee told him she is no longer the girl he liked before. She rejected him. As soon as she walked a bit, the upper floor construction workers did not carefully drop the iron frame. Wu Yian rushed to help her. The iron frame hit him hard. He was taken to the hospital. Seung-hee was very touched. The two were finally together. They love passionately, but then still have to face real life. Wu Yian's injury on his shoulder when he saved Seung-hee was easy to recur. It was very difficult for him to find a job. During the class meeting, he saw that his friends were married. Someone bought a house. He still didn't have any achievements, so he felt very uncomfortable. Seung-hee knew that because he saved her, he lost his job. She feels very sorry. During the Seung-hee father's funeral, Wu Yian confided in his friend. He said that if he didn't see Seung-hee again, he probably wouldn't go to this step. He started to regret seeing Seung-hee again. Seung-hee heard what he said. She did not expect that while she was suffering from the loss of a loved one, she heard these words from her boyfriend. Seung-hee broke up in pain. That night she cried a lot. Then even if Wu Yian tried to hold her back, she didn't want to go back to him. The company arranged for Seung-hee to work abroad. Wu Yian said he would wait for her. He later became a fitness teacher. Students enjoyed his first love story. A few years later, Seung-hee returned home. She told Wu Yian she was going to get married. Wu Yian asked her to send him a wedding invitation. He didn't expect she sent it. That night he was very drunk. On the day of the wedding, he apologized to Seung-hee for hurting her. He never regretted seeing her. He also wishes her happiness. The moment he saw her in her wedding dress, he knew it was too late. He turned and walked away. The bride is married, but the groom is not him. First love is always the most beautiful love. There are few such passionate love in life. Such relationships are often overwhelmed by the worries of life.